Welcome back to my channel. I'm Samantha if you are new here, and today we are going to be talking about perfectionism or how to overcome perfectionism. I am a perfectionist, and so this video is a little bit about me and to help other people as well along my journey. So perfectionism has to do with refraining from making mistakes, being in a state of flawlessness, not wanting to be criticized in order to not feel some sort of discomfort or pain. So along these lines, the people that struggle with perfectionism are people with eating disorders, workaholics, body dysmorphia, OCD, anything that really has to do with not making mistakes and coming to a state of not wanting to be criticized by someone else. So perfectionism also, I found, has to do with a lot with in the future. So along a person's journey, someone either has told them that either the present isn't safe, or if they didn't measure up to a specific standard, they were punished in some form. So essentially what I see in other people when they struggle with perfectionism is they're afraid of being punished, and that either can come from physical punishment or verbal punishment, like not feeling good enough, always striving to be better. And also I found that perfectionism is all about the future. So perfectionism also comes with a lot of anxiety. So because anxiety is also has to do with a lot of being in the future. So one way that I found, or a few ways actually that I found that helps with perfectionism, is basically finding something that you find is fun, or doing something that really enables you to be in the moment. Fun doesn't have an excuse to, it doesn't have a lot to do with seriousness. It has to do with being in the now, being in the moment, feeling through your sensations. A lack of seriousness. If you watch children when they're, 1 to 5 years old, they are really living, or should be really living in the moment, and they have a better grasp of what is fun. So fun for one person might be different fun for another person, but people that I found that struggle with body dysmorphia, workaholics, the overachievers, a lot of eating disorders, obsessive compulsive disorder, they are all gaining, always working towards the future or perfecting, not really being in the now. So I find that what has helped me, and I have found that what has helped, I noticed that people that who don't struggle with those things are really in the present moment. So living through the senses, being in the moment, which means smells are really helpful, or essential oils, or doing things for the experience, things like that. So people that struggle with being in the now have a hard time being in the moment because they feel that it's unsafe. So fun could be consisted of something that allows you to express your freedom or personal truth. Things like eating foods that are really good. A lot of people that struggle with eating disorders or OCD, they tend to eat the same things all the time. Or people that lack creativity often struggle with doing the same thing over and over again. They really don't have availability to open themselves for new experiences. So that's also the basis of fun, is for developing new and fun experiences. And that's one of the reasons why we are here on this planet, is to have new experiences for a better expansion. So another way that I have found to help with limiting perfectionism is obviously not feeling good enough, but also embracing your femininity. And this is a little bit outside of the box thinking, but if you think of the femininity and masculinity is more about assertiveness, right and wrong, differentiating. They're usually, a lot of masculinity is usually developed in the ego, which has to do with separateness. Femininity is all about gentleness, nurturing, being really soft, openness. It's really about the community-oriented, and those that struggle with femininity or tapping into their feminine side have an easier time with kind of letting go. So the feminine is about experience, it's about letting go, nurturing, community-oriented, whereas masculinity is more of assertiveness. Depends on how you associate masculinity, but it's supposed to be assertiveness, independence, very structured, whereas people that are artists have to be in touch with their feminine or their creative side, and that the greatest artists are usually really in touch with their feminine side. So also, if for my spiritual gurus, opening different chakras will help with perfectionism. I noticed that people like my mom, she is really in the moment type person. Her main chakra is the solar plexus, or the color yellow. So she's really playful, really open, really in the moment. She's like really happy, like wherever she is. She's very creative. The solar plexus chakra has to do with individuality. It has to do with being authentic and being your own person, and less to do with the competitiveness and kind of measuring up. Also, people that have a very strong the abdomen, sacral chakra has to do a lot with being in the now and living through the sensations, and they typically have to, they have a hard time not indulging things that make them feel good. So my suggestion is to throw out your mundane everyday routine, like getting up in the morning, you know, getting your coffee. Change up your routine a little bit so that you're not so focused on the future, being in the now. Try new foods, cook new foods, eat foods that are very flavorful, or foods that have a lot of herbs and really feel through the senses, that type of thing. Whereas people that eat a lot of bland foods, or the everyday, you know, the rice or the beans, and really like not very flavorful foods, typically have an issue with stepping out of their comfort zone. So I'm a person that can eat the same thing for 3 weeks and not get tired of it. So moving out of my comfort zone of eating new foods is a little bit difficult, but it also is it feels like a more expanding experience. So I thought that this video might be helpful, and I hope that you guys really enjoyed it, and I would love to hear your comments on your personal ways of overcoming perfectionism. And I understand that perfectionism is sometimes can be an innate trait, depending on who's more prone to developing it, but everybody on this planet has a form of perfectionism, because there isn't anybody on this planet who doesn't care about other people's opinions. It's just a matter of how much are you going to let other people's opinions define who you are, which is really important. It's really important to have an authentic and really a strong sense of self, so that you won't fall into that type of predicament. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you guys have a beautiful day. Bye.